This wonderful recipe is for those who wants to eat light. Eggplant lasagna. It is made with ricotta cheese, heavy cream, butter, Parmesan cheese, and white balsamic, fresh mozzarella, ground sirloin steak, parsley, tomatoes, onions, and eggplants, basil, garlic, olive oil, sea salt, and pepper, and my mixture of seasoning. Eggplant lasagna. Eggplant lasagna is another one of those dishes that is very light for your dinner because it's actually made of, instead of using pasta, which is kind of too starchy, we actually using the eggplant as the base for our lasagna. To start the lasagna, the first thing you do is start by seasoning your ground beef with salt and pepper. A little bit of pepper there. Salt, sea salt, of course. And my mixture of spices. My mixture of spices contain red bell pepper, onion, basil, parsley, oregano, sage, garlic, black pepper, celery seeds, marjoram, thyme, coriander, and chive. And mix it well. To do the meat, just bring a frying pan to medium high and add a little bit of olive oil. Add the meat and let it cook until tender and golden brown. Okay, follow by doing the tomato sauce. I actually like to do my tomato sauce from scratch, homemade sometimes, then buying it in cans, because in this case you can see the freshness of the tomato coming out to delight your lasagna even more. Just cut the tomatoes in 4 parts, just like that, and blend it in a food processor. Just tomato, nothing in it. To make the tomato sauce, just add a little bit of olive oil on a hot pan. Let it be hot, maybe 30 seconds or more, and add the crunch tomatoes in the saucepan. A pinch of salt, and pepper. Mix it well and let it simmer for about 20 minutes, or until you see that it's becoming like a sauce, that the tomatoes are actually cooked. Add a little bit of white balsamic vinegar. Just chop parsley, onions, and the basil and set it aside. In order to do the cream for the ricotta cheese, start by adding a little bit of olive oil and butter. Once the butter is fully melted, then just add the onions and the minced garlic. Let it cook until all the flavors break up and combine with the butter before pouring the cream. Once you feel that smell of the onions and the garlic coming out of the pan, that means that the flavors are getting combined, and you see that the onions are getting also translucent. That means that they are already cooked. It is time for you to add the cream. A little bit of pepper. Let it simmer and reduce maybe by a quarter. Don't let it burn, lower the fire, and just let it simmer until it's a little bit reduced for the next 30 seconds. So now to have the use of the eggplant, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut the tip and we're gonna peel off the skin of the eggplant because the skin is tough. We don't want to have it in a lasagna. Just pull off the skin like that. Make sure I don't take too much meat when peeling off. Okay, once you have your eggplant peeled off like this, it looks so beautiful. That's a nice vegetable to eat. You can use a knife or mandolin to slice your eggplant. You can either do it this way or either long side or short side. The mandolin, same way. I like to use the mandolin because it will give me even sizes when I cut the when I slice the eggplant. So what you do is you take the mandolin and you cut it like about a quarter inch of a slice. You can see the slices. Okay, now in order to do the ricotta cheese, we're gonna elevate this a little bit by adding parsley, basil, and the cream that we just did with garlic and onions. We're just gonna pour all that in there, and this is gonna make the ricotta to be even more smooth to fill our lasagna with the meat. Just mix all together there with the ricotta cheese. Give you now like a kind of creamy texture than a cheesy texture. That's what we want. Now we're gonna put the lasagna together, the eggplant lasagna. So start by pouring a little bit of the tomato sauce on the bottom of the baking dish. Just like that, spread out. This will prevent the lasagna, not the lasagna, the eggplant from sticking or getting burned on the bottom. So next, laying your lasagna on top, just like that. Making like a coat. This is instead of pasta, this is what we're getting. Lasagna, eggplant, then the meat, then the cheese. Just put it in there, put it on top. It'll be all there, all together with the lasagna. Once all of this start melting, it's just gonna turn into just one thing together. There. Then sauce, on top. Then another layer. Press it down so it could be more condensed. Then cheese. I wish I could have it first in the other layer, but I actually put the meat first. That's what it was a little bit tough to spread it out. There, just spread it like if it is cream cheese over toast. Meat again. Another layer. No, sauce. Sorry, sauce. And another layer to cover the top. Press it down again. And finally, just spread a little bit sauce on top. Just like that. Parmesan cheese for taste. And to finish, we're just gonna add individual slices of fresh mozzarella to the top of our lasagna. Just lay each slice of fresh mozzarella on top so you can have individual pieces of the lasagna. Then drizzle with a little bit olive oil so you can elevate the flavors even more. Finally, add a little bit of my mixture of spices on top to make it even more appealing. Heat the oven to 425 and put the lasagna inside the oven. Let it cook for about 35 to 45 minutes before serving. So let's do how this looks after the first 20 minutes of being inside the oven. Just look at that, gorgeous. It's just bubbling. The cheese is melting on top with the sprinkle of that Italian medley there. That is unbelievable. Let's put it back to the oven and let's close it and let's wait another 10 minutes for this to be done. Now, let's see how this beauty just came out. Let's take it out of the oven. Look at that cheese, how nice it's melted. Look at how it's mixed and bubbling there. All of the flavors together, this is amazing. This is gonna taste so delicious. Let's put it on the table and let's serve. Okay, to serve, just cut the individual pieces where you see the mozzarella cheese, kind of like that. The cheese on top, and then with a tongs, just pick this up. And put it on the plate. Little bit of basil and a little bit of aioli oil all around. A wonderful lasagna for meat lovers. Okay, let's see how this tastes. And if you want see more of our recipes, just subscribe to our channel so you can keep watching every time we issue a new recipe for you guys. So let me see how this tastes. So smooth, delicious, real eggplant lasagna with the aioli here.